How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. As always, this is a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel, you ain't wanted. We are reading some Kitaro collection. I don't even want to say we're reading some Gegege no Kitaro, because, we are first going to be reading whatever came before that. We'll get into that in a second. But this is the franchise Gegege no Kitaro, as most of you would probably know. I'm not sure if that's what the title is going to be. I'm not sure what part of this we're going to be doing, because as every other Halloween thing has been a one-off video. This, however, is going to have to be, a series of videos. It is a series. I mean, we've done series before, but we've done them all in one video. This is, I'm not sure how much of it we're going to read. I have no idea. I don't know what to expect to go into it. I mean, I know a little bit to expect, but I'm not sure what the videos are going to be like. I don't know what the title is going to be like or anything like that. So, possibly you're familiar with Gegege no Kitaro. If you are not, this is a series that ran in Shonen Jump, I believe, for a while. It was one of its, big series, but it didn't start there. It started... Well, really, it started in the 30s, but not really. It started in the 30s as a sort of like, on the street telling a story sort of thing with some illustrations behind you, but it's mostly like a verbal sort of storytelling sort of thing. And that's where it kind of started, but then in the 60s, what everybody knows as Gegege no Kitaro, well, again, there wasn't even the name yet, but still, this whole franchise as the manga started with someone else who took over, Mizuki something. We'll see the name. I can't believe the name's not on the... Oh, here it is. How did I not see? Shigeru Mizuki. But yeah, took over and, started doing this manga. I know that... Again, it went through some different publications and title changes, and, I'm assuming with that, the story's going to be changing quite a bit as well, but I'm very interested to see that. We could read some, release that came out in English that, moved around some chapters and did select chapters and stuff like that, but that's not what this channel is here for. We go all the way in. We go all the way in. So, we are starting with the Birth of Kitaro / Kitaro's Night Tales. Kitaro's Night Tales, I believe, was even before if you are already a fan of this, and I hope there are plenty of people who are already fans of this watching, just as I hope there are people who have either, heard of this in the past but never got into it, or have never heard of this and are checking this out for me for the first time. Yeah, so if you are fans, though, you would probably know the Kitaro's Night Tales thing. You would probably know the rental manga seems to be what it's collectively referred to as what I'm going to be reading, probably in this video. I doubt this video will get to Gegege, but I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we have this version, and then we also have this version that came out in 2016, but this is not the, as this calls it, the complete restored edition. I have not looked into anything except for the first 2 or 3 pages of the actual manga itself, just to compare to make sure I was reading the is this something I can read? And this definitely is. Moved around the panels, it's restructured stuff. I believe this is something that Shigeru Mizuki has redrawn himself later as a re-release of this. But, again, we are here for the complete restored edition. And, yeah, this cover, obviously not, that. So, interesting. This is the main character that I recognize, but we're starting out with this. An unmarked... little, I don't want to call it a gravestone, but an unmarked marker here, and, a boy in the graveyard. I know there's, Hakuba no Kitaro is, another name for it. I'm not sure, that might come after Kitaro's Night Tales. We'll see as we're reading. But, yeah, Kitaro of the Graveyard, so that makes sense. The graveyard here. Right, okay, I guess I should talk about that. So, this series is something that popularized a lot of, it popularized yokai again after they weren't popular for, quite a while, but also invented a lot of yokai. There's probably plenty that are going to be, first from here that you would think of as, a forever yokai, but it came up through this manga. So I'm interested to see, those kind of things as well. But they're all on a laptop. Yeah, this is definitely a re-release thingy. Well, actually, no, this is from the original thing, but look at it on a laptop. Oh, interesting. Okay, the Kitaro Collection Complete Restored Edition, Volume 1. So yeah, we got the Birth of Kitaro, which I don't know what that is, and then Kitaro's Night Tales, which, yeah, we know what that is. And see, now, he looks now exactly like I would picture. I don't know. Hold on, we're also going to, let's see what the start of this is. And yeah, like, yeah, very different from, you know, on our cover there, which I assume that's going to be the same kind of character, but maybe not. And so yeah, this starts off with the History of Kitaro, and then the Birth of Kitaro in Garo from 1966. I'm so glad this actually has the dates. But so this is all in order. Okay, yeah, this is not, like, you know, it's some moved around stuff, but, you know, we'll see. We'll play it by ear, as I said. Yeah, somebody else is doing this forward, not Mizuki himself. And being introduced to some of them on the side there. Should we be reading this? I don't know. I don't know if we should be reading this, actually. Yep, we're not going to read this. See, okay, so the 2013, or the 2016 one here starts like this. You know, as you can see, this is, well, I guess you'll see in a second. Like, you know, this one starts here, and then it takes, like, a second for us to get to the, like, city part here. So they're clearly cut some stuff out, and yet at the same time, there's part of me that thinks I maybe should read this one because, again, this one here having this, I don't know. But there is more here, so you would think this is, I don't know which one to read. We're going to read the official one for now, and, you know, I'll always be able to have this one to go back on and look at. But for now, I think we will read the official one. So, once upon a time in Tokyo, there was an ordinary businessman named Mizuki. Okay, same as our author. Worked at a bank, but it wasn't an ordinary bank. It was a blood bank. Okay. Boss wants to see you. Okay, got a special job for you. Mix some yokai blood into our supply. What? I never joke about blood, especially when it's turning people into monsters. I need you to investigate. Okay, yeah, crazy. Did you say you, like, just we mixed it? Was it an accident? Or did you just do it cuz? But okay, let's track down this tainted blood. Alright. Yeah, is yokai blood even real? Never seen anything like it in my 50 years as a doctor. But look inside and tell me if it's real. By all accounts, the patient should be dead. Oh my god! And yeah, he's got the distended stomach. Looks just like, you know, the dead from the like, you know, the version of hell that's, I think, like, the human hell or something like that. Or just, like, hell. I don't remember which one. But, you know, you're starving so much that your gut distends. The living dead. But there must be some rational explanation. No pulse, no body heat, doesn't eat. Should just be a dead body. But, yeah, the only oddity is a transfusion from your blood bank. Okay. Okay, no name, just location. What? That's my address! What? Did anyone move in recently? What do you mean? To your house? Does anyone else share this address? Maybe that abandoned temple out back. Okay. Also, like, very, very talking head kind of art style so far. Very interested to see how he's going to be doing the horror kind of stuff. Because, yeah, very just talking heads. Okay, that night at the temple. You call this a rundown little junkyard? This is actually nice as hell. Okay, ooh, I like the perspective on that, though. What the fuck? Yeah, I just like a ghost. A hitodama. What is a hitodama? I don't know. No explanation. Okay. We'll look it up at the end of the chapter, if they don't give an explanation or anything. Oh, okay. I like the actual low detail creepiness of it. With such low detail, it actually is still very creepy. Come in, make yourself at home. We'd love to have you for dinner. Love the speech bubbles. But it's poor fare but fresh? It's poor fare but fresh. I don't even know what. Oh boy, some nice frog eyeballs. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I dig this art style already. It's so malleable. It's very low detail, but in a very effective way. It's so, yeah, it's so undefined in its creepiness. Alright, time for you to meet my husband. It's the mummy! I'm sorry if I startled you. I see you've already met my lovely wife. To know the truth, we were hoping you would come. We have a story to tell you. Our story. As you may have guessed, we're not ordinary neighbors. We're yokai, of course. Were you a doctor? Like, why was the address listed for you? But have some sympathy for the monsters. Long ago, in the time before humans, our kind lived freely on Earth. What am I looking at here? What am I... did you, like, build stuff? Okay, yeah, you were, like, building stuff. I don't know what the hell this is. It looks very run down. But, yeah, this does not look like Earth. This does not look like Earth. Okay, oh my god. Oh my god. We lived easy, peaceful lives in harmony with nature. Then the humans came. They looked like us, but we were very different. But we're very different animals. They spread across the earth like rats. Huh? So are we seeing humans do this, or was this them doing this? I don't know. I still don't even know what I was looking at here. It's so alien. Huh. That's wild. I was saying, like, oh, it's such low detailed art and everything that, and then he pulls out something like this. Holy fuck. So we fled to the dark places, the forests. But after 5,000 years, humans wanted to chop those down too. So we went underground. My people were the Yurei-Zoko, a ghost tribe. We burrowed into the earth looking for safety. We dug like moles, eating worms and whatever we could find, but food was scarce. We were dying. So we came out of our holes at night when humans were sleeping, scavenged bugs to eat, but it wasn't enough. And slowly, they just vanished, one by one. The only ones left. We knew the risks, but we had to enter the human world again. What am I looking at here? Just a tree? Fate has been cruel. We are both terribly sick. Our last hope was human medicine, but you need money for that. So okay, they sold their blood. I see. Sold their blood to buy medicine. Disguised myself in human clothes and gave blood. Yeah. Gotta notify the blood bank, though. You turn somebody else into one. Well, I mean, you know, maybe. What if this can work? What if you did this to dead bodies? What if you put the blood in a dead body and brought the dead body back to life? That, you know, because it seems like their blood turned them into one of the ghost tribe. And yeah, they're the last two left. If we let them know of their existence, they're dead. I got an obligation to my company, though. Yeah, is your company more important than our lives? Or do you expect us to just die quietly? Oh. And okay, I'm pregnant, having a baby. Okay. Alright. I can give you 8 or 9 months. And then what? Like, what? You're gonna have the baby and then I'm gonna tell you? What? Just eating some chicken bones, bird bones? Or, you know, eating some birds and the bones are left. But, like, after 9 months, he returns to the temple. Why 9 months? I mean, like, I know for the baby, but, like, you know, it's so just like, and then I'm gonna tell you then. It's like, what's the point? Oh, they're just dead. But yeah, he dug a grave for them. But in the end, he only buried the mother, so the father's body was rapidly decomposing and too disgusting to touch. But after 3 days, something happened. A baby. From the grave, a baby is born. Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, okay, so that's Kitaro. That's Kitaro. Born from the grave. Oh my god. So he's the last of his kind then. That's cool, that's cool. Also, yeah, the art style, I was really like, at the beginning, like, I don't know if this is gonna, you know, hold me. This is very just like talking heads, but then complete 180. Complete 180. Oh no, oh no! He's gonna kill this baby! I do love it. He's got very, like, Western comic horror, you know, reaction faces. So then he just leaves him all alone. And he's already got, like, you know, an eye that's, like, kind of like, I don't know if it's just, like, permanently closed over, or it's got, like, you know, bump. Like, we saw, you know, in one of Kazuo Umezu's work, you know, a yokai who had, like, a bump over its eye. It seems like a common thing, so I wonder if, you know, it started here, or it started earlier, or whatever, but, you know. And yeah, at the old temple, the father's corpse lies abandoned and rotting still. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, okay, his eye just... My son needs me! What? Listen to generator tales. Living things are full of strange abilities, but nothing as strange as this. This is crazy. I just pops out. My son needs me. There's some strange yokai magic. The father's eyeball retains his spirit. A mystery of the ghost tribe that humans will never understand. Or maybe it is a father's desire to protect his son. Such power can accomplish miracles. But okay, cool. Oh, is that what he had like on his head? Was that an actual eyeball? I thought that was just like a little accessory thing. But that must have been an actual eyeball. Yeah, just die exposed to the elements. Is that like his... No, it's not his arm. Maybe he has to grab something to use as a leash. Every second of your life has been spent in pain already. And now, yeah, that monster child, he's returned. Papa, Papa! Oh my god! Okay, so quick from I gotta stomp this baby to, okay, I'm gonna raise him as my own. And now my heart can rest. Okay, I thought you were gonna be with us, maybe not. Okay, what are you gonna do with that child? Not suspicious about this at all? Okay, can't talk, wait for work. Dude, you are so inept and everything. But okay, yeah, so he's just gonna be our little nanny. Oh, so cute, so cute. Hey, whatever gods look over you. Oh, no, don't get eaten. Don't get eaten. Okay, yeah. God, he was almost squished. Oh, he's squishing him. Don't kill him. Oh, yes, get out of there. I love that it's like very creepy and all. Like, the art style it's funny, but also very creepy. You know? Oh my god, man. Oh, little squished eyeball now. Oh, this is so heartwarming too. Oh, this is like the best thing we've ever Halloween so far. I really thought this was gonna be like, I was like, oh yeah, it's time I got around to reading Kitaro, but I was not expecting it to be this good off the bat. And that's the true heart of a father, thinking of his child before himself. And he looks after him for 6 years. Not human, ugly face. Other children are repulsed by his appearance, refuse to play with him, and he is always alone. People laugh at him and call him Gegege no Kitaro. Okay, so we get that here. Not the name of the series, I don't think, but at least that is his name. Late at night, he goes off to places. Yes, I'm aware. Doesn't it concern you where he goes? No, I don't care. Don't give a shit. Alright, sneaking out again. Once he hears a crack, he sneaks out. Okay, are you gonna follow him this time? I do love how Western styled, like, the adults are in this. Like, it is very, very American comic styled, especially compared to, you know, a lot of the other manga we've been reading around this time period. So does he go off to the graveyard? That makes sense. And Hitodama. So are Hitodama just will-o'-the-wisps? Is that what they are? Okay, so Hitodama is just like a human soul. Just a human soul. But yeah, they're little balls of fire that float in the middle of the night. It's gotta be will-o'-the-wisps, right? And it makes sense for the kind of country Japan is that there would be a lot of will-o'-the-wisps in general. Oh, quick, in here! Hide in this tree! And then, disappeared from Dad. But our sandals are still there. He's gonna crawl in the tree after us if he can even fit. Big storm. But yeah, lost him. No idea what happened to him. Now see, like, yeah, this is much more of a manga-styled face. Man, this mom, like, you've been living with this child for 6 years, and you're still like, get this fucking kid out of my house. But oh no, please. Okay, I thought they were gonna kick him out. Yeah, just tell us where you go at night. What do you mean? I followed you last night. Where'd you go? Yeah, lost you by the tree in the graveyard. I was playing in the world of the dead. It's where the spirits live. I mean, you saw Hitodama go in there. Children shouldn't play with the dead. Naughty, naughty. A graveyard's not a playground. You're right, you can't stay here any longer. God, you too. I mean, the dad has been fucking weird as hell from the start, but it's time you saw the world. Out there, you'll find other yokai. Some will be friends, others enemies. And so begins Kitaro's epic journey. Cool. Love any good series of the you have to set out on the world on your own. You know, the small town can't contain you any longer. Alright, wherever we go, wherever our feet will carry us. Clip, clop, clip, clop. Gay, 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 gay. What is the sound effect gay, 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 gay? Like, yeah, I'm trying to remember, because I do scandalation and stuff, but I can't remember what gay, gay even looks like. Okay, the word gay, 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 which is that, which, yeah, I don't think I've ever had to translate that as a sound effect. I don't know what that is. The title is similar to the Japanese sound symbolism for a cackling noise. I see. So, like, yeah, it's a cackle. But it refers to Mizuki's childhood name. Mispronunciation of his given name. Okay. His given name was Shigeru? And his mispronounced as K. I don't know. But, okay, so yeah, it's a play on Mizuki, which is his father's name, not his name. Like, you know, Papa. I'll say Papa for the alive one, Father for the dead one. You know, Father Eyeball. But yeah, I guess he's just cackling as well. Also, to go over this, actually, I was just starting to go through this. So this starts out with like it happened late one night, and then, I've just moved into the temple next door, doesn't see them, leaves them a box with an eyeball in it, buries the eyeball, and this is a lot more of like also that was his wife. I don't know why he was calling her mother, because they didn't have a child yet. I know the Japanese thing of like, you just say mother and dad, to each other instead of wife and husband, or whatever, but like, they didn't even have a child yet, so why was he calling her mother? I don't know. But anyway, then he goes off to work, and we get that whole thing. Then he goes to get to the bottom of it and everything like that. We're doing all this, yada yada. And then, right, okay, yeah, so here is where I left off, which is very interesting, because, like, okay, this is a different page entirely, and definitely much more of this style. So, again, the other thing must have been definitely redrawn by Mizuki way later. But, like, yeah, I want to reread this now with the original art, as well, to see, like, what we can ascertain from this. Because, like, what in the like, this looks a lot more like just normal Earth, right? And then the next page is, okay, so then way simpler, way simpler. Insanely simpler. Oh, but I like that. It's a lot more peaceful and nice and everything like that, and like, okay, then we got to this big one. I see. Yeah. So yeah. So that was like when the humanity, first, like, we were just living in a tiny little thing like this, and then humanity came and went, boom! And it's like a massive coliseum and everything like that. Was it something that's actually built? I don't know. It's higher than the fucking clouds. Oh, and yeah, you can see like boats approaching it here. Huh. Yeah, if this is something from history, I don't know what it is. But yeah, like the landscape shots are definitely all so different. That's like the most different thing here. Okay, they called it the Forest of Ghosts. I see. Oh, what a fascinating cave thing like that. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, and then, so yeah, Kitaro was still born from the grave here. So what was with the eyeball that they gave him? And was the guy missing? No, he had both his eyeballs. So, I don't know, maybe it was her eyeball that they gave him? But yeah, I can see why he cut the eyeball thing out, because it didn't... Or, what was the fucking point of that? Oh my god, I wonder if this was a mistranslation between the two. Like, I wonder if the updated version was like, let's make the dad a little bit nicer, or if he did change the actual dialogue. This one is, damn, you're giving me trouble from the moment of your birth, instead of, you've been in pain since the moment of your birth. I wonder, actually, did he say, you've been a pain since the moment of your birth? No, yeah, every second of your life has been spent in pain. Yeah, no way to read that as, you're giving me trouble from the moment of your birth. Also, I actually like this better. If you go to the graveyard again, you will have to leave us. As opposed to just like, just say like, you're gonna have to abandon him. Okay, it's still terrible, but, it is 1% better this way. And yeah, this feels much more accurate to like probably what it originally was. Well, come on, you gotta leave. There's friends who will understand you outside, whether crickets, lizards, the dead, or ghosts. Versus in the like now with context of the whole series, setting it up with like, oh, some will be friends and some will be enemies. Okay, now we will read the History of Kitaro, Part 1. Also, it's Part 1, so there's going to be a Part 2, so they really should have waited until after the Birth of Kitaro. because you see this a lot in afterwards. I never learned my lesson to wait until after at least like the first chapter to read the forward. I said afterward, I meant forward, because most of the time they will just recap the origin of the story, or like how it began, yada yada yada, which is still what you're about to read. But I get it because it's so old they feel the need to or something, but should have been after the first chapter. But let's read it now. I mean, this is all just a recap of what we've already read, I believe. But yeah, okay, so this is just a recap of that first chapter. But it isn't the whole story. Even though Kitaro is one of Japan's most famous and beloved characters. Okay, did not know he was that, I knew he was big. But I didn't realize he was that big. Few know his actual origin and history. Most would say that he is a creation of manga artist and eccentric genius, Shigeru Mizuki. After all, Mizuki drew the adventures of Kitaro and his yokai companions for over 50 years. If you go to Saikai Minato City in Tottori Prefecture to visit the Kitaro Wonderland and eat the delightful yokai food, you are visiting Shigeru Mizuki Road. But like many yokai, the true story behind Kitaro's origin is older and more mysterious. We must go back in time, almost 400 years, to further Kitaro's origin. Japan during the Edo period, in the 1600s to the 1800s, was a time of monsters. Every dark corner, every deep forest, every dank graveyard was filled with yokai, an unimaginable variety of strange creatures, weird phenomenon, and mysterious beings. The entire country was consumed with belief in the supernatural. Some of these monsters were ancient legends from prehistory, but most of them were born right in the Edo period, in a game called Hyakumonogatari Kaidankai, a gathering of 100 weird tales. A game. The way to play was simple. Players would light 100 candles in the room, then take turns telling stories. With each story, they would douse a candle so the room got slowly darker. People swapped stories about something they had heard, or they told their own mysterious encounters, strange lights at night. Oh, this is so fun! It's such a cool way to create so many legends. Like, you're talking 100, only the really cool ones are going to stick around. That's like a natural filter. So cool. It didn't matter if these stories were complete. It only mattered that they were true. It didn't matter if these stories were complete. It only mattered if they were true. Interesting way to phrase that. And that these spooky encounters sent a shiver down the spine on a hot summer night. Edo period artists and writers saw an opportunity in Japan's mania for yokai. They began to produce art prints and little books of stories called kaidanshu. Some of these recounted spooky true-life encounters with ghosts and bizarre monsters. Some were tales of supernatural beasts from countries like China and India. Some were just made up, but regardless of origin, almost all of the yokai stories we know today came from these Edo period collections. There were so many monsters that in 1776, artist Toriyama II decided to catalog them and created a yokai encyclopedia series called Gazu Hakai Yagyo, the Illustrated Night Parade of 100 Demons. Although there were a lot more than 100. Oh, that sounds really cool, though. Like, the first catalog ever, and in 1700s, that's gotta be cool. Like, I would hope there was, illustrations for each one, too. Maybe not, but, well, yeah, the Illustrated Night Parade, so yeah. Oh, that is something that, wouldn't be able to, probably nothing been translated for it, but, that would be something very interesting to check out on my own. Just 1700s, sounds so cool. One of the yokai in Toriyama's encyclopedia was a lonely ghost monster called Ubume, or sometimes called a Kosodate Yurei, a child-raising ghost. A child-raising ghost. So that would be his mother and stuff. This told the story of a woman who died while pregnant. She was buried with her living baby still inside of her. Because she was a good mother, every night her ghost would rise from the grave to buy candy and treats for her little child. When some people noticed this, they dug up the grave and found the ghost mother's son had been born alive inside the grave. There were many tales of Ubume in Japan, and the children of Ubume were said to possess unique abilities. Eventually, the Edo period ended, and Japan's belief in the supernatural faded. The Meiji period, of the late 1800s to the early 1900s, brought contact with the West. It's so crazy how long the Edo period was compared to the Meiji period. It's always hard to remember. I mean, I never remember what actual years the Edo period was, or the Meiji period, but I gotta get better about that. Yeah, just a general idea is usually what I have. But anyway, the Meiji period brought contact with the West, as well as science and innovation. Yokai faded before the electric lights of the modern world. By the time of the Showa period, again, such a short period comparatively, most people had forgotten about yokai, except as funny children's stories. But it's very interesting because, like, we are back around to that period already. The 60s definitely feels like the 2020s especially feels like the 60s all over again. We're doing the cycle once more. And, as we are assuming about to get into, I'm assumingly the 60s is when there was another, resurgence here. Especially, assumingly, from Mizuki. But during the early Showa period, there was a popular form of entertainment called kamishibai, meaning paper theater. This was a time before TV or radio or even comic books. Artists would create characters and stories in the form of paintings. Yeah, this was around the 1930s. Then storytellers would wander the countryside to bring the stories to life. Storytellers had small wooden theater they used to show the pictures, pulling them out one at a time while the story unfolded. Yeah, you've probably seen something like this in, gag manga or stuff, Oshimatsu, has called back to that, because that's also a series that, was around, not quite during this time, but was made by somebody who was around during this time. But yeah, you maybe have seen it in gag series and stuff as, a callback sort of thing, because, I feel like this doesn't do a great job at explaining what this looks like, but, it's a little theater box that you do, little theater, like puppet theater, like that sort of thing as well. But anyway, just like today, there were many popular characters who appeared over and over again. Children eagerly anticipated the next chapter in the story of some of their favorites, like the skull-faced organ bat. That sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. Who flew with a big red cape and lived in a secret base in the Alps. And in 1933, two popular kamishibai artists dug up an old Edo period yokai stories for a series of kamishibai adventures starring a peculiar young boy. Writer Masami Ito and artist Kei Tatsumi took the legend of the Ubume to create their character Hakuba Kitaro, Graveyard Kitaro. Very little is known about this original version of Kitaro. Okay, what happened to the two people? Most of the illustrations and the story notes were destroyed during World War II. Of the few bits and pieces that survive, we know that Hakuba Kitaro was a boy born in the graveyard. His parents had met with some unjust fate, and Kitaro was cursed by their legacy. He was a monster, terrible to behold. His teeth jutted out of his mouth like planks of wood. One of his eyes was huge and seemed like it was trying to escape his head. His hair was wild and crazy. Oh yeah, he looked like a version of Quasimodo. I mean, I imagine even more so than now. But even now, he still looks like, a much more chibified version of it. But the original version of Hakuba Kitaro ran for about 2 to 3 years and was said to be as popular as Organ Bat. The storytellers tromped all over the major cities of Japan, telling the story of the bizarre yokai boy, Graveyard Kitaro. However, by all accounts, they never made it to the small fishing town of Sakai Minato, Tottori Prefecture, where a small boy named Shigeru Mora had arrived 11 years earlier in 1922. And, Shigeru Mora, it was this boy who continued the story of Kitaro and spread his wondrous tales to the whole world. But interesting that his original name was Shigeru Mura and not Shigeru Mizuki. Interesting. And then to be continued. Cool though. That was actually a very, very well known, very, very well needed. Not even well needed, but I'm glad we had it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just really, really appreciated this. This helped clear up a lot of I guess didn't clear up a lot of confusion, but also did in some way. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it helped illustrate the whole, story so far that led up to the point of what we are reading now. And then there's, just wish it was after the first chapter, but yeah, definitely illuminates a lot.